Hello, it's Doris, and this video is a bit of a mid-January TBR and a bit of a discussion because I'm curious to know how many of you read multiple books at a time. I didn't really used to. I was more of a one book at a time unless I randomly started a second for whatever random reason came along. But since I've joined BookTube and started buying all these great books and have them at my fingertips, I've just suddenly realized that I love to read more than one book at a time, like a lot more than one book at a time. And it's awesome. Like before I used to, you get in a slump, a reading slump, and you didn't know if it was you or if it was the book. Am I just not in the mood to read, or is this book not really that great or not what I'm interested in the moment? But since starting to read multiple books at a time, that doesn't happen. This is about my second month reading a lot, having a lot of storylines going at one time. So I'm not super experienced with this concept, but 2 months in and it's going great. And it makes sense because, when people watch television, a lot of times you sit and you watch a half hour of this and a half hour of that and then you're done for the night. Sometimes you binge watch an entire series for several hours, but generally it's a little of this and a little of that. So it makes perfect sense the way we entertain ourselves through the television or movies, TV shows, whatever. So why not do the same thing with books? So this is what I've got going on, and I've developed a pattern. And like I said, it's 2 months in, but I've developed a pattern for what I'm reading, and it's just working great, a nice rhythm. So these are my mid-January TBRs. The first week of January I did Bout of Books and finished that. I did really well. I was pleased with myself. And the last week of January I'm going to do Diversathon. So these are the 2 middle weeks of January, and I've already mostly finished the first middle week. So I'm into these books for the most part and have another week left, and then I'll check in and tell you how I'm doing. So, because I think Diversathon starts on the 22nd, maybe. So, I do like to read a book on tape, or listen to a book on tape. I listened to Graceling by Kristen Cashore in December, and I meant to start Fire, but I, had 2 weeks off for Christmas, and so I didn't really listen to books at home. I just listened to them in the car on the way to work. I get about 40 minutes to an hour per workday listening to books. So, unfortunately, I lost my connection to this from the public library, and I'm waiting. Somebody's got it right now, and I'm waiting for it to come back. But I got this one from the high school library, and I've been reading a little bit as I'm waiting for the audio to come back on my account. And I have noticed that I like to listen to plot-driven books. So young adult fantasy is really good for that for me in the car. And then this one, The Infinite Sea, I'm reading with my son. He's 13. And we started this one maybe the end of November or the 1st of December. And we've gotten out of the rhythm of reading it, so we need to get back into that. We've only read a little bit. We read The Fifth Wave together and loved it, and then we watched the movie together and hated it. I don't know how they could make such a bad movie out of such a good book, but anyway. And then I've noticed that reading personally, I like to have a slow book going and a couple fast books going. So my slow book is currently White Trash by Nancy Eisenberg. This is a nonfiction about the class system amongst white Americans, and it actually starts with roots in the British society as they were colonizing the States. And yeah, I'm just barely started that, and I just read a little bit at a time because it's slow paced. Also, sometimes I like to read not only nonfiction but more literary fiction that's very wordy, that can be a nice slow-paced book for me. And then my fast-paced books right now, I've got I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak and Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly. This one I started because I'm super anxious to read it because the movie's out and I so want to see it. I think it's going to be fabulous. And I'm ripping through this one. It's one of those nonfictions that reads like a fiction. She's just done really well with maintaining a storyline, and it's just very inspiring to me. Very inspiring. And then this one of the English teachers at my high school read it last month and wanted to talk to me about it because the ending, she wanted to talk about the ending. So I'm just completely honored that an English teacher wants to talk to me about a book. So I'm reading it. And the first few pages were slightly boring. And then the storyline, the main storyline started, and I thought this book might break my heart. I'm worried about that. And now there's been this huge plot twist, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. And I feel like I'm going to finish this weekend because it's kind of at that point where I need to know. So then if I finish those, I have 2 more waiting in the wings, 2 more fast reads, and these are both young adults. Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. And this one was on my December TBR, and it's the one I didn't finish and wanted to. I know both my librarians and just a lot of people say that this one's a good one. And then Holding Up the Universe, another young adult that I got from the high school. And this one is on Books and Lala has a Instagram book club, and I don't remember the name of it. I'll try to remember to link it below, but this is one of the choices for the January reads. So this is my, oopsie, I'm gonna have blowout here. How's that? This is my mid-January TBR multi-reading at one time, and I'm just really curious, oopsie, if this is common, if a lot of you do this, let me know. I'd like to talk about it, and what are your methods, and how many, and all that fun stuff. So leave me a comment, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye.